Today, I'm going to be taking you guys through my leg day routine. Now, why should you listen to me? Number one, over like the past year and a half of doing this routine, it's changed a little bit. I've grown like big legs. Look at these bad boys. And I've seen improvements not only in my biking, but endurance and power. So that's why you should listen to this. Now, first thing to do is warm up. If your legs aren't warm, you're not going to be good lifting. So what I like to do, foam roll my back, my legs. So first is going through your like butt almost, if you want to say, to your mid back. Go like this a few times. And then from there, I like to move from my glutes to about like the ends of my hamstrings there. Like this a few times. Just letting the blood flow and loosen my muscles. And then the last one is for the quads. You go from like the top of your kneecaps to up to your upper hip area. Like this. And just walk forward and back. So for the first lap, I do 10 to 12 reps per lift. With the hex lift, I do 2 sets of 12. And then same with the RDLs, I do 2 sets of 12. And the next lap, I go down two reps, and I go up 5 to 10 pounds for all of this. When you're lifting, always start with lower weight and then work on your technique, because like if you can hone your technique in, you'll get more out of the lift and you won't injure yourself. So, good things to remember. The first lift of the day is a hex bar deadlift. Now, the good thing about hex bar deadlift, produces a lot of power when you're doing it. You'll be pushing to the heel, your heel and the balls of your feet. And it works a lot on your quads, which are these muscles, and your hamstrings. I prefer this over a straight bar also because it alleviates a lot of pressure from my back compared to the straight bar, where there'd be a lot more here. And it also works on like back and core stability. So things to look out for, once again, having a good base, shoulder width apart, and making sure you're pushing through your heels and the balls of your foot, and you're not rocking back and forth. Always have a good base. And when you lift up, you always want to lead with your hips and have a good hip hinge. And have a proud chest and shoulders back. So you see my shoulders are back, my hips are shoulder width apart, my abs are flexed, that's a good thing too because you want to make sure you're not wobbling around. And I'm pushing straight through my heels and the balls of my feet. The next lift is dynamic lunges. Now this one's a big one for muscle imbalances. So you're working on one leg at a time when you're going through. And I like to use weights with it also to add more difficulty. It also works on balance too. So this is just for every like different type of sport you might be in. For me, it works a lot with biking because I need to work on my stability like at all times. And muscle imbalances for when I'm pedaling, so I don't have one leg that's stronger than the other. Some things to look out for is make sure you have a straight back when you go down. Don't have your knee going forward or back behind. Make sure back is straight when you're going up and down. I do 12 reps each side while walking back and forth. Another thing to watch out for is your knee. So this is one thing I struggle with Bulgarian split squats, is my knee going in and out. So let's try to have it nice in the middle. Another thing to look out for is having your front heel go up. So if you're here like this and it goes up, try to just keep it down planted. The same thing as before, make sure you're pushing all your power to the balls and your heel of the foot. And then trying to just go straight up and straight down. You give a 90-degree angle, and nice stretch at the bottom for your quads. That's another thing. This one works on many muscles, a lot of stabilizers, your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, and a good all-around exercise for muscle balancing and toning. Next is not really a lift, it's more of a motion. Hamstring ball curl. So what you want to do, have your ball set there. You want to lay on the mat, put your feet on it, and then work on having your hip go up And then balancing yourself and going in and out with your legs. And just working on burning the hamstring. And it's good for balance, stability of the core and back. But most importantly, it's about the hamstrings. Try to get them to burn up a bit more. I can do 2 sets of 12 for this. And the higher your hips can go, the better. A lot more difficult it is. And you can also use your arms to balance yourself, and if you want to make it more difficult, then bring them in. So you're working on really on like bracing yourself with your core and having it sucked in. Right now, I'm just going to work on for my legs, so I'm going to have my arms out. Also work on breathing too. But with a lot of this, you'll try to hold your breath. And that's how like bad things happen, especially with the hex lift. Forgot to mention to always go up, take a deep breath in, and brace with your abs. Because if you just hold your breath and you're working hard, you could pass out. The next lift is the elevated apex lunge. What you need for this, you need a box, say about 6 inches tall, and 2 dumbbells. Now this one works on this part of the quad, the center one, and the back of your leg also, to work on stability and being able to like bring your knee up more, just producing more power in general. It also works a lot on balance, which is like a key thing for like my leg days. Whenever like I'm lifting, like if there's something I can do seated, I'll try to do it standing to work more on the abs, just balance in general. And a lot of my lifting also includes the right leg and then left leg to work on muscle imbalances and making sure that no matter like when I'm biking or what situation might happen, well, I might not want to be biking, but I'm always ready to be balanced and I can produce power whichever leg I want to produce it on. So this is very similar to dynamic lunges, going back and forth. So I start with my right leg, put it out, and then just go back to like a nice and balanced part right now. And then I go down. So going into this, there's like a few different things I'll do. Some laps, I'll go down to my negative, like at 2 times speed, or at half speed, so I can go down slower, just to work on getting my quads down here to burn up, my hamstrings up here to burn. But for now, I'm just gonna do positives at half speed. So go down and then go up slowly, and then go down and go up slowly. Another thing to remember, my knee doesn't go past my ankle. I'm just going up and down and working on my balance. So down, and then half speed up, down, half speed up. And then left leg, same thing. This one I struggle with more, I found. My non-dominant leg, I'm not sure why. I'm guessing it's more of the balance. But, so I go down and up, down normal, up half speed. Really just trying to get my legs to burn and activate. Another tip for this that helps, for me, is just zoning out, especially when I'm just looking at this whiteboard. I just try zoning out. But say I was like this and I have my box here, I try to find a point on the wall, just pick at it and go down and just follow it. So those are some tips for this one. So right leg again. The last lift of the day is RDLs. This lift works a lot on your hamstrings, to your glutes and your lower back. So it all works together in one hinge motion. So you go from here, have a good shoulder width base, and hinge, and go about from your kneecap to your mid-shin, and go back up. So what you want to do is have the dumbbells glide right in front of your kneecap like that, and also work on having your back flat and your shoulders rolled back. So I'll demonstrate now. So shoulders width apart, rolled back, and straight down. And also making sure you have a good bend in your knees. You don't want to lock them out on this one. I like to go down about mid kneecap here, like mid shins. Go back up, and you should feel a good stretch all the way down your leg. Another thing to note too is when you're coming back up, something like I struggle with when I get a bit more fatigued, like kind of bow out like this, with my head curved in my back. Just go straight up, just work on your posture. Make sure you have a good speed. You don't want to go too fast or too slow. Alright, today, going through my leg day routine. Worked on a lot of muscle imbalances, working on single leg, left and right for set imbalances, and a lot of balancing. A lot of power was just seen through this one. Just a few takeaways. Remember, always start with lighter weight, holding your skill, make sure technique's good. Always have a good base, shoulder width apart, drive through your feet, and always just take it one step at a time, and soon your legs will be big.